Hey everyone, Steve Gonzer here, physical therapist and founder of Run Smart Online, and I'm here just to thank everyone for the outpouring and support we had over our upcoming project that we're doing, which is a video series on postpartum running. And just to kind of recap what that is, we're going to be putting together a video series that takes a mom from pretty much cradle to 5K, restoring core strength, and giving them the best shot at getting back. I can't tell you how many patients I've seen in the last year or in the last couple of years who gave birth, carried a child, gave birth, and then tried to get their way back out on the road and had a tremendous amount of time doing this. It doesn't matter if one of the biggest questions we got after our first video and we asked for comments was, I had a baby 3 years ago, does this apply to me? Or I just had my baby, does this apply to me? And the answer is yes to both. We find through the research is that the core strength that we lose during, or not me, I'm not losing any core strength, but females lose during pregnancy and carrying that child, we find that weakness can carry out even a year later. And sometimes that's just when the research stops. So that research, if it was carried out 3 years, we might be still finding a thinning of the abdominal wall and core weakness. So we're putting together a video series that's going to show you how to progress through a core strengthening program, how to safely transition back into running. Because if we think about it, we take a couple, maybe 2 months off, 3 months or 4 months off while we're carrying the baby, and then usually about 8 weeks minimum after. So there's a time where 6 to 7 months where no running's been accomplished, and then we're chomping at the bit. Moms want to get their pre-baby body back. They want to get back to competing, and they go out too hard and end up hurting themselves. If we just take a brief look at the anatomy and the layers of abdominals, everyone thinks of the six-pack as being your abdominals that runs from your rib cage down to your pelvis. That's one aspect of it, but we also have these layers of external and internal obliques. So our external obliques would be running in this fashion, coming down, and they also attach over. And then we have a deeper layer of internal obliques, which run the opposite way, and they help pull and stabilize and generate movement. And then we have this real deep layer that most people don't know about, unless you're in the field, which is your transverse abdominis. And that is even deeper. So you can see these overlapping layers. The goal here is to stabilize the spine. These aren't real big, powerful movers. Yes, they move the trunk and the torso, but for most part, our force generation comes from below that, through our hips, and our spine needs to be nice and stable. So you can see how the multiple angles pull off of our spine. But what happens is we'll just take one muscle group and we'll take a look at that, the rectus abdominis again, and we're just going to watch as a mother and as a baby grows, as the mother grows due to the baby, that the abdominal wall needs to expand. And you can see that as the abdominal wall expands, that the rectus abdominis needs to accommodate for that. And the baby continues to grow, and the mother continues to grow in her abdominal cavity, and the abdominals continue to grow, and again and again. So what we're seeing here is the extreme elastic tissue through the abdominals, but we know through the research 1 year out, mothers are still having weakness and thinning of the abdominal wall, and that's 1 year out. So you get 6-8 weeks off, or 6-8 months off rather, and you start to try to run again, and it's just not there because you lost the stability. We look at it's not just the rectus abdominis that does this, but the obliques and the transverse abdominis all need to expand to allow for that baby to grow. And it places a tremendous amount of stress on the lumbar spine. We lose our stability through our low back, and if we don't regain that, not only are we opening ourselves up for hip injuries and low back injuries, which are fairly common, but also a ton of lower body injuries. We need that proximal stability. You need to be stable up top to generate force down below. And we know that moms aren't getting this back, and this is why we're going to be developing our program to show them how to develop that core strength. So what we need to do postpartum is we need to restore that stability. So when you hit the ground running, you're not just a sloppy mess through your pelvis, and you can actually control the force. So what we need to do is we need to look at what happens when we become pregnant and what as the body grows, and again, not me, and not we, but you as a mother, and we need to restore that strength back to its normal looks. So it should be fairly evident that we need to restore this strength. We need to restore hip, pelvic, and abdominal strength postpartum. Doesn't matter if it's 5 years ago or two months ago. Once you're cleared to safely resume activity, this strength needs to be restored. If it's not, you're looking at a lifelong of injuries. So what we need from you, we're getting ready to launch in the next couple of weeks. We need more comments. We need to know what you want to know, what we should include, what we shouldn't include. So jump over to our Facebook page or the links below, and they'll give you the ability to fill out a form. We really appreciate any feedback you have. We already had great feedback from the first round of video and article, and we are already going to be incorporating a 5K program that safely returns you, plus the length of videos will be cut to about 20 to 25 minutes with a workout, a couple workouts in there to restore core strength. So jump on over to our Facebook page, tweet us, send in the form with the link below, and we'll do our best in the next couple days or the next week to get another video out explaining a little bit more and tell you a little bit more about the offer.